Welcome to the podcast, everyone. I am Mayra. I'm here with Wendy on episode 6 with Metatron. Welcome, Wendy.
Thanks, Mayra. Can't believe it's 6 already. It's been a lot of fun. Been a lot
It
of fun.
has. It really has been. And just before I hit record, I know we were talking about all the beautiful energy coming towards this segment, this Q&A. So many people are learning and they're engaging and asking questions. I'm certainly getting lots of people shooting questions my way. So I'm going to be um, reading those off today.
Excellent. Excellent. I think it's important for people to know that you give those questions to Metatron cold so
Oh,
that it's
yes.
so that I don't have time to sit and noodle it in my own brain, but it goes directly to him. So
No, and it's really interesting how when you're channeling Metatron, you can almost see him receive the question and contemplate, how do I want to answer this? So I see that happen, like his little wheels are turning.
yeah, when I watch, I go, huh, that's really interesting because there's about 1,000 ways he can answer any question. And
Yes.
and I know that he always looks for what's most important to be received in. So that's
Hmm.
how there's some people that continue to come on to like the free events and things like that and ask the same question over and over and over, but in a different same question, different way. And there's always a different answer because he's answering it like it is today, not like it was last time they asked it. So it's a fascinating process.
It
Uh,
sure is. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what we had discussed in the last segment in regards to walk in souls. This has created quite a little buzz, which I wanted it to. Okay, I did. I wanted it to. And I think a lot of people that are listening are having these, sort of aha moments, and they're beginning to become curious about it. So I know that you're offering some sort, you want to get some sort of support. What is it that you're offering? Let's just let me
So
you do it.
Metatron really wants to be engaged with the walk-ins on the planet. He wants to be able to assist them, help them get their feet planted on the ground in the direction of their path,
Mhm.
so that it's moving quickly for them because there's not it took me years, and so there's not
Yeah.
that type of time anymore. And so he's looking to connect and to bring people together as a community to support each other, share their stories, get assistance when it's needed. And so
Mhm.
in order to do that, and if people think that they're walk-ins, then what we do is we have like a 15-minute, like a discovery call. And if it turns out that yes, indeed, you are and you want to begin to be part of a community, then we'll begin to create community.
I love that. And let's talk about what those signs might be once again.
All right. So walk-in experiences can happen for people in near-death experiences, in trauma experiences, under general anesthesia. Um, the my brain's going blank. Those are some of the major ways where you let go of your normal everyday consciousness, and there's a greater ability for that other soul to engage.
Hmm.
Walk in soul, it's with agreement. You're
Yes.
never kicked out of your body without agreement. And then there's soul braiding, where you connect another soul with your soul. It's almost like piggybacking, right? And so it's one body, two souls. And so there's, different experiences for each one of those types of walk-ins. So
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Thank you. And once again, if you want to connect with Wendy, you can find her at metatronsmysticalmuse.com. All right.
You can send me a message through there, and it also has my phone number there, so don't hesitate to reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you, Wendy. All right. I'm ready for him. I hope
Well,
he's ready for me.
he's ready for you, and it's already channeled 3 times today. So the process, it's like greasing a wheel. It's like he goes, whoop. So by now he's just gonna like slide right
Slide
into.
right in. Okay. Beautiful.
All right, so have a good time.
Thank you. All right. So we're just pausing as she brings Metatron in now.
Hmm. Right. Good day to you.
Good day, Metatron.
It's beautiful to see you, beloved one.
Thank
Always.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I was really excited to meet with you today. I've got some good questions.
Ah, good questions. Excellent. We like good questions, right?
All right. So, a lot of these questions are coming from followers. So, let's go ahead and jump right in.
Right.
Um, this question is regarding spiritual awakenings. Over the years, so many people are experiencing these awakenings, and they're talking about it. And there's, um, you know, different experiences. But why are they happening so randomly? And why are they hurting people? Not in a physical way, but you know what I'm saying? It could be very emotional
Indeed.
for them.
And tough to navigate sometimes. And you're speaking of spontaneous spiritual awakening, are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So spontaneous spiritual awakening is not so common. It's not so common. And so when it happens to someone, it's like kind of like getting hit with a lightning bolt or getting hit by a truck, and life as you know it no longer looks and feels the same, and you are moving from a new viewpoint, from a new consciousness, right? It
Mm,
happens that way because that's what your soul came to experience. It came to experience that pow, that bang, right? That
wow.
spontaneous awakening. And so what happens after that spontaneous awakening is that how you look at the world and how the world looks at you changes. And your relationships change because of your new understandings and perspectives. And you
Mm,
kind of become, you're kind of a stranger not only to yourself, you have to figure out who you are,
hmm
but you're also a stranger to those that have known and love you for your life. And so it is challenging to navigate. Yeah.
mm,
And the purposeful good within that is that you are propelled on a particular soul's path, a particular soul's journey. And so, for those of you that are spontaneously awakening, finding help, finding those that, like you, Mayra, that can help people to plant themselves and find out why this is occurring. People like our channel and other healers and channels in the world that can help them to say, okay, just take a breath. It's going to be okay. This is for your highest good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, it can feel painful and scary and
Mm-hmm.
confusing. Yeah.
So it's interesting. A lot of what you're describing is what someone might feel through that walk-in experience too.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And sometimes that spontaneous spiritual awakening is a walk-in experience. Not always, but
Mm.
sometimes it is, right? Other times people just kind of they can have a Kundalini rising experience and burst wide open. So there's different ways, and they're a little bit different experientially as well.
So let's talk about the Kundalini awakening. What is that? How is that different?
All right, so Kundalini, most everyone knows, is that divine source, that aspect of you that lives within the root chakra.
Okay.
When the Kundalini rises, it rises up the spine and up and out the crown chakra. And it is a process of that spontaneous awakening. It it is spontaneously uh, taking you a step up the ladder of your ascension process, or a couple of steps up the ladder of your ascension process. The Kundalini rising, you have three, well, they're called the nadis in the body. And the central core is called the Shushumna, right? It is like your
Mhm.
spinal cord, the Shushumna. And then there's the Ida and the Pingala. And the Ida and the Pingala twist around the Shushumna. You have seen caduceus, right? The medical symbol,
Oh,
right?
yes, yes.
Right. That is called the caduceus. That is exactly what happens when
Mm.
the Kundalini rises within the physical body. It is
Mm.
a spiritual experience in the physical body, right?
Okay.
And it takes you further into your own enlightenment.
Hmm.
You can work with your own Kundalini energy by working with your chakras, opening, clearing your chakras, and then working with the root chakra to gently raise the energy up through the body. You do not want to raise the Kundalini too quickly. You don't want to force it, because that can be a little rough. People have had mm, negative experiences if it's too done too forcefully. All
Sure.
right.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a very good Kundalini meditation that I did. And so my understanding of it, it's like a little snake that's coiled around that root chakra. And so it's having you sort of picture that snake moving
Right.
up. And during this 20-minute meditation, really all it was some spontaneous movement
Mhm,
that my body was doing without my knowledge.
mhm.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Right.
I got to go
Right.
back to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And ultimately, your evolutionary process is fueled by the Kundalini rising. But there's that place that the human will try to force it, but the soul knows how quickly it should go, right? So
Hmm.
so please, please, please be gentle
Yeah.
with yourselves doing
Mhm.
your Kundalini work, right? Make
Yes.
sure that the rest of your chakras are clear and open, so that you're not having any negative experiences when the Kundalini rises. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Metatron, what is the dark night of the soul? I get a
Ah,
lot of clients that tell me they're going through it. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever experienced it because I don't know what is it that's happening and why are they calling that?
ah. So there's again different ways of experiencing dark night of the soul. For some, it's grief. And they're so deep in grief that nothing else in the world matters. They
Okay.
have a difficult time showing up every single day, feeding themselves, caring for themselves. Depression can cause that experience of dark night of the soul as
Okay.
well, when you cannot find any light at all in your life. Sometimes spiritual awakening can take you through what is called the dark night of the soul, where you dip from what is the light down into your own shadow and begin to heal and move through your shadow self, right? That is also a dark night of the soul.
Okay.
So more than one way to experience.
Mm,
Right?
mhm. Interesting.
Right. And they often feel lost, hopeless,
Mhm.
disconnected, rudderless. But the beauty is that with the spiritual dark night of the soul, you're headed in the direction of the light. In depression, you're probably going to need some help to move through your dark night of the soul.
Mm,
And in grief, you may need some assistance, right? So,
yes.
yeah, different things are needed depending on what you're experiencing.
Mhm, mhm. Thank you.
Does that help?
Yes, yes, it does.
Good,
Thank you.
good.
So, question here from a follower. Are soul contracts binding?
Ah, that's a beautiful question.
Mhm.
Because there are those out there that believe that they can break soul contracts without
That's right. I've heard that too. Yes.
right? And so basically, when you think that you can break a soul contract, all you're really doing is saying, no, I am not fulfilling my part of the soul contract in this lifetime. However, soul contracts can move with you lifetime to lifetime to lifetime.
Oh
So,
no.
so if you're saying no to this lifetime, there's going to be another lifetime where you come back together with the soul that you have a contract with, and you'll
Mm,
complete it, right?
mhm,
Soul contracts are not all bad, right?
mhm,
Soul
mhm.
contracts are where you learn and where you grow. Some of them can be hard, but many of them are very positive as well. So yeah, you can say no in this lifetime and then expect that at some other point in time that you'll come back together to complete. Okay?
Mhm. But okay, so a soul contract can also not be canceled in the astral plane either? Like once the soul, a contract is a contract, is that what you're telling me?
What happens in this is that the human mind, the human ego says, I want to cancel this contract.
It's the ego that says that.
Ego saying it.
Yes.
The ego cannot cancel a soul contract. The only aspect of you that can cancel a soul contract is your own soul and the
Yes.
soul of the individual that you have a contract with. It's
Right.
soul to soul, not mind to
Mhm,
mind, human to human, ego to
mhm,
ego. It's soul to soul.
mm.
So,
Okay.
right?
Tough luck, everybody. Okay. Thank you. That's
The
very helpful.
good.
All right. Can you explain how fear works energetically?
Yeah. Fear is the energy of contraction. And so fear just kind of brings you tight in the body. It kind of closes down your energy field when you're in fear. And it is a fascinating thing because our channel was talking to us the other day about something that she'd read. And she read that people have a hard time trusting spirit,
Mm-hmm.
but they trust fear.
Yes. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that fascinating? That you
Yes.
would trust the thing that holds you back, keeps you small,
Mm-hmm.
that contracts your energy field.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating.
And
Yes.
we're not making anybody wrong or right for these things. Know that we never do that. But it really is a fascinating thing for everybody to look at in their lives because everybody trusts fear.
Yes.
They don't trust their intuition. They don't trust spirit. They don't even trust their,
Oh,
families
yes.
sometimes, right? But they trust fear.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
It's
trust love.
yeah.
They trust fear.
Wow. It's how we're wired, Metatron, unfortunately.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, and it's not your fault. It's part of the collective consciousness
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
But your fear, what you fear has proven itself over and over and over again because you fear something, you create it and you experience it, right? It's harder to trust your intuition because it's maybe not always right. It's harder to trust love because you've been let down by lovers, right? Or family.
Mm-hmm.
So fear is the one constant in the human's life that they go, okay, yeah, well, I can trust that, right?
Yeah. So, what is the best way now? I've raised four grown sons, and of course, who I was then is not who I am now. But what advice would you give to young parents raising their children to really try to emphasize the trust rather than the fear that a child
Mhm.
can,
Right,
be susceptible to?
right. And it's creating a a container that you will listen to your child's fear, no matter how foolish you think it is, because it's real to your child. And you receive their fear and you talk about it a little bit.
Mhm.
And then you ask your child to think, okay, so what would happen if this didn't happen? What's possible? Right? And you begin to bring light and space into the contraction, right? Because
Yes.
children contract as well as adults contracting
Mhm.
around fear.
Mhm.
And you normalize it. You normalize fear. Yep, I'm feeling afraid, but I also know that I want to have this experience.
Mhm.
And you make it so that it's not hidden in the shadows because so much of fear hides in the darkness, right?
Mhm.
It hides
Sure
inside.
does.
You're afraid to talk about it because you're going to look foolish. If you can begin to normalize feeling and working through the fears from the time you're very young, then you're going to have a whole different, race of beings upon this planet, right?
Mhm.
That are living in possibility, that are living in expansion as opposed to contraction.
Mhm.
So that would be wonderful. So all of you beautiful enlightened parents, just because your child is afraid, don't disregard that. Be like, having somebody disregard your own fear. just
Mhm.
because they're young. Yeah.
That's
Help them
beautiful.
walk through it. Yeah, indeed.
Mhm. All right. Follower question. How can you deal? What is the best way to deal with a narcissist in the home?
Hmm. Mhm. Yeah. I mean, other than leaving,
Other than leaving, because many don't. Yeah.
well, make it not about the narcissist. Make it about finding and understanding who and what you are. Find your own empowerment. Be so neutral and know yourself so well that nothing anyone else says can throw you off center.
Mm.
That is the way to counterbalance a narcissist in your household. The narcissist feels powerful when they can trip you up, when they can make you defensive, when they can, hurt you through their
Yes.
work actions, right? But if you can become so sovereign, right? Like Teflon, it doesn't mean that you don't care, but it means that you're neutral, that like a tree that you can bend with the wind or the onslaught, right?
Yes, yes.
And so when you do not engage with a narcissist, right, uh, it's it's difficult for them to run their pattern or run their program.
Mm.
Right?
Okay.
If you are with a violent narcissist, leave, please leave.
Yeah.
That is the only time Metatron says leave a relationship if there is physical violence,
Right.
even some emotional violence, but definitely physical violence. Please leave. Take your children, take your pets, go find a safe haven.
Hmm.
You will never change a narcissist.
Hmm.
They will always be exactly who they are today.
Hmm.
They are unable to be any other way. And this is their soul's journey.
Yeah. I
And
was just going to ask you that.
this is their soul's journey, right? They
Yes.
don't have a bad soul, right? This is just what they're here to experience in this lifetime.
Yes. Yes.
You, as the mate or the sibling or the parent, whatever,
Hmm.
you don't have to play the game with them.
Hmm. That's part of the learning and the lesson is how far you go and allow before you put your boundaries up.
Right,
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
We wish that
Yeah.
people would look at the red flags before they jump in with both feet.
Hmm.
Just a
Yeah.
Metatron wish. Sometimes those red flags are something, oh, no big deal until you're in the middle of it. So,
Okay. Thank you.
indeed.
Can you speak about the importance of grounding and what's actually taking place?
Grounding. All right. Grounding is an important and powerful thing. So there's numerous ways to ground. To be outside, to sit or have your feet in the earth, right? Anchors you to the planet. It shifts your vibrational frequency. And also, people that tend to be in their heads a lot, that will bring them more fully into their bodies and into their emotions. There
Hmm.
are those of you that don't even inhabit your body all the time. You're kind of above the body, right? And
Yes.
grounding brings you fully present. right? In your spiritual practices, being fully present allows you to be mindful, right? Of everything, to be able to pay attention to what it is that your soul is asking you to do, what it is that guidance is guiding you to do. So grounding is is important for that. It's also important for releasing things that no longer serve you, or releasing things that are in your energy field that are impacting you negatively. And how do you know if something in your energy field is impacting you negatively? You kind of get brain fog. You feel like you're out of your body.
Yes.
You're constantly exhausted. And so you go out and you sit on the ground and you just let it go, and the earth takes that and transmutes it for you, right? And
Mm.
clears out your energy field in a beautiful way.
Mm-hmm.
That is the importance of grounding, right? It is health for your body, mind, and spirit.
Yes. It sounds like it's really nature's best medicine.
Ah, that's a good way of
Mhm.
looking at it. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Gaia's gift, right?
Mhm.
Gaia's gift. That is Gaia's soul contract with each and every human being.
I love that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Can you speak more about Gaia and her purpose?
Yeah. Well, Gaia has her own life, right? Just like
Hmm.
each of you have your own life and your own path. And she is evolving and ascending in her own right. She is a living, breathing
Wow.
consciousness.
Yes. Beautiful.
And agreed, she has soul agreement with all of the beings and the animals that live upon her, right? She has agreement. She has the agreement that she will provide food for the animals. She has made the agreement that she'll provide grounding for you and a place for you be to be at home, right? If it weren't for Gaia, you would be someplace else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this dimension, this experience requires all that Gaia has to offer. And she does it beautifully. She does it through the oxygen and through the water and through the grasses and the trees and all of the abundance that she offers to humanity.
Mm-hmm.
She is an ascended master,
Yes. I wish more people to connect with her. Yeah.
or even just appreciate her or
Yes.
honor her in some way, because people take things for granted.
Hmm.
And the greatest entitlement upon your planet is the human entitlement in relationship to Gaia. You understand what we're saying?
Yes.
Where Gaia is concerned, many humans just act entitled.
Hmm.
So, you know, we hope as well that others will come to know her as a living being instead of something that they drop their trash upon.
Yes. Hmm.
Right.
You
Right.
know, I had a couple, well, several, many regressions where my clients experience them, sorry, my clients experience themselves as trees. And I learned so much from hearing from the perspective of the tree. And I'll never forget how at the end of one of the sessions, I asked my client who was experiencing itself as a city tree, if you could ask for anything, what would it have been? And what she responded was appreciation.
Mhm.
I see people walking by. They just walk on by without a thought, without, and the sun comes up and the sun comes down and the sun comes up and the sun comes down. Nothing changes, right?
Yes.
And I don't take walks the same anymore.
Right.
I don't. It changed my life experiencing and guiding people through that. Um, it's not really a walk. It's almost like not even I don't know what you call it because I can't just walk. I have to stop now. I
Right.
stop. I talk to the tree. I look at it. I tell it how beautiful it is, how I appreciate it. And I'll do that tree after tree.
Right. It becomes communion,
Yes.
right? It
Hmm.
becomes communion. And, you know, everybody panics
Hmm.
when Gaia throws an earthquake their way or a volcano their way,
Hmm. Yeah.
but they don't give too much thought to her unless they are being, you know, thrown out of their own normal experience, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sad, very sad. But
And so,
she's going to ascend no matter what. If she has to stretch and toss all of you off of her off of her body, then that is what will occur, right?
wow. Yeah. Okay. So when there's earthquakes and these, sometimes catastrophes, what is
Mhm.
she really doing?
Shifting. She's
She's shifting.
shifting, expanding, growing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as you know, and as you all know, when you're shifting, changing, and growing, there's, rumblings and grumblings and growing
Yeah.
pains, and you're stretching and doing things outside of your normal, just everyday human, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so that is part of what is occurring for Gaia, right? She is she releases pressure here and she stretches there.
Mm-hmm.
It is beautiful process. If you could see it from what is the pulled back position of spirit, it is glorious. And it is not only Gaia that's doing this, it's every single planet in the cosmos, right? Conscious, evolving, ascending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing is static.
No. So may I ask a favor, Metatron? Could you connect with Gaia now and
Mhm.
see what message she has for humanity today?
Our greatest desire today is that everyone begin to feel. So much of the time, humans avoid their feelings and their emotions. And when humans avoid their feelings and emotions, it sets up an energy upon the planet that impacts Gaia. And so she is saying that if everyone were just to embrace what they're feeling, right? Good, bad, ugly, don't judge it, but if you'll just feel it, then what will happen is it almost unlocks the energies that are, for lack of a better understanding, pressing upon the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else she has to say. She is encouraging each and every human being to get in the water
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, somehow, even if it is your bathtub, get in and submerge. Shower doesn't count, right?
Okay.
But really submerge in the water, because the water is part of her healing elixir. And as she, provides the movement of the water on the planet, the cleansing of your physical, mental, emotional bodies, right? Raise you up. And as you're raised up, it raises Gaia. So she's asking everybody, please get in the water.
Okay.
Let us see what else she says.
Yes.
Be kind to each other. Be kind to the trees. Be kind to the animals, the vegetables, the minerals. Kindness is, how is she saying it? Kindness is necessary and needed at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Gaia has your best, she has at your best interest at heart, is what she's saying. And she wants to see you grow and ascend and reach the pinnacle of where your soul is headed in this lifetime. And she supports that 100%. She says, however, kindness is something that will help her help you. So being kind to Gaia, to the trees, to the animals, to each other is not only good for the environment and Gaia, but good for humanity's evolution as well.
Thank you.
Did.
Thank you to Gaia.
Thank
It was beautiful.
you.
I think we all needed to hear that. Mm-hmm. And we know this. I want to say that we know this. I'm hoping.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And there are more kind people upon the planet than unkind people on the planet.
Yes.
The unkind seem to get the greatest play, right? And so use your kindness as a way to shift that which is unkind.
Mm-hmm.
Kindness is not a weakness. Many think that
Yeah.
kindness is, it is not. It is one of your superpowers.
Yes.
Being kind, you know how we say everything you do makes a difference?
Sure.
Well, everything you do with kindness makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Indeed.
All right. So, Metatron, I want to ask you about our pre-planned lessons that we choose for ourselves. How does the universe activate that lesson at the time that it does?
All
How,
right.
how does it know, like, when the lesson should start?
Okay. So your beautiful soul heads back to source at the completion of a physical lifetime.
Yes.
And while there, begins to cook up with the help of source thousands of different scenarios of things to learn and experience in the next lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So the soul comes here and begins to have the experiences, right? Your soul really is in direct connection with source. And so the soul says, okay, I think I have saturated this learning now. We need to shift focus a little bit. The soul sends out
Okay.
the 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 call, the message,
Okay.
spirit that okay, we're done here and now we're turning in a different direction. And all of the things that are in alignment with the next piece for the soul is already created,
Wow.
and the soul just begins to move through.
It it's amazing. It's like I the soul is almost puppeteering what happens next, right?
Right.
Like analogy wise, it's like,
Everybody thinks that it's their
oh,
journey, right? It's the soul's journey, beloved ones. If the
mm-hmm,
soul knows what direction to go for your highest good, it
mm-hmm,
knows what experiences, even those things that you term negative or positive, right? The soul knows what's needed for its highest evolution,
sure.
because that's really what it's about. It's remembering, it's going back home to God I am,
Mm,
right? The soul knows the way, right? So,
thank
a little bit more trust in the soul and a little less trust in the fear will go a long way.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So I want to talk about near death experiences. Is having a near death experience a contract? Yeah.
Yes, that
Okay.
is that. So let's briefly touch on contract again. There are contractual agreements between two or more souls, right?
Right.
There's also those agreements that your soul makes within itself to say, I would like to experience in this lifetime near-death experience or
Okay.
walk experience, those types of things, right? And so that is something that the soul comes in and it is aligned to experience near death, right?
Wow. And so, why do you think a soul would why is that important? Because I think it's the coolest thing, of course, when people
Mhm,
experience it and come back.
mhm.
But just from a soul reason, why would they want to do that?
Because near-death experiences are systems busters.
Ah,
They change the trajectory of lives.
hmm,
They bring in higher consciousness quite often. They bring in different perspective quite often. They give the human aspect a glimpse of heaven,
yes.
right? So that they can bring that back and share it with others. Hey, look what's on the other side,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So near-death experiences are also meant for growth and change, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Wow.
that's a big systems buster.
Yes, yes, it sure is. And um, it's understood that when they return from this experience, their abilities, their spiritual abilities are heightened, right? They're become more psychic and it's very, very heightened. Why is that?
Many people experience that and some don't, right? Some come back and it's business as usual, right?
Okay.
That's okay. There's no judgment. But for those that come back and everything is heightened, right? What has occurred is that through the near-death experience, your psychic centers have been kind of blown open a bit,
Mm,
right? Anything that prevented you from seeing, hearing, knowing, feeling, has been, kind of removed. You are changed from the inside out, right?
yes,
And
yes.
so, yeah, many experienced the heightened awareness of their psychic gifts because everybody's got them, right? Nobody doesn't
Mhm,
have these gifts, right? But sometimes the near-death experience kind of blows the doors open and heightens the experience.
mhm. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Um, Here's a question from a follower. Can you explain how we time jump realities?
Mhm. Well, understanding that there's no such thing as time, right?
Right? Okay.
That's always the first thing that we want. So any soul can launch themselves into different dimensions. Any soul can launch themselves, into, different planetary systems, into different cosmos, right? Just by using the soul and intention. Now, many think it's just imagination, right? Because they open their eyes and they're still sitting in their chair. But there is
Yeah.
an aspect of you, you've heard of astral travel,
Yes.
right? Each and every one of you are doing this on a nightly basis,
Right.
traveling astrally. You can do it awake and consciously as well, right? It's
So it's
there's
intention,
intent,
intention,
right? There's
belief.
not a whole lot of magic to it, right? It's it's not like you are uh, only your physical body. You're not only your physical body.
Right.
You are a soul. You are a spirit. You are God.
Hmm.
And there's nothing that keeps God from traveling from here to there, right? Because here to there is even an illusion, right?
Mm,
It's just like if you want to be there, you will be there, right?
thank you.
Not easily done. There are some that can do it
Mm,
easily, but not easily done for everyone. Okay.
right.
And if you can't do it, it doesn't mean that you're not growing spiritually. It just means that not yet. It's not yet time. Right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Beautiful. Thank you.
yes.
All right. So I guess it's time for what message you might have for us today, Metatron, as we bring this to a close.
Yeah. So spring's coming pretty
Right.
quickly.
Yes.
And with the spring equinox, there's going to be an influx of new energies, and things upon the planet are going to begin to awaken. And that awakening includes, aspects of you. So expect some inner change.
Mm,
Expect spirit to lay some opportunities at your feet that you can either choose to experience or you can choose not to experience, right? If you're not ready. But the the energy for transformation and rebirth is really going to begin to amp up a little bit between now and March 19th.
Oh,
And so for those of you that would like to experience some rebirthing energies, you can get into a tub of water and do some breath work, or you can sit and meditate and set the intention and do what is, we call it a connective rebirthing breath. And that breath is you curl the tongue to the back of the palate,
okay.
and then you breathe through the mouth
Okay.
shallowly, and we call them puppy breaths, and it's 5 puppy breaths followed by a nice cleansing breath. So it's like this.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what I'm seeing is 5 short puppy breaths inhaling
No,
and
it's in and
one,
out. It's in and out.
oh, in and out. Okay.
Right, in
Okay.
and out, and then one deep cleansing breath. And if you will continue that cycle for
Oh,
5 minutes, you begin to um, shift your consciousness,
okay.
right? You can set the intention that you're calling home any soul aspects that have been fragmented. You can create a ceremony for rebirthing yourself back into the planet, however you'd like to do it. But that breath is powerful. Yeah.
Okay. And what does the tongue on the roof of the mouth do?
Well, the tongue on the roof of the mouth creates an energetic connection, number one. Number two, because you're breathing through your mouth, it keeps the back of your throat from becoming tickly,
Okay. Okay.
doubtful at least.
All right.
Okay.
Beautiful. I hope
All
that
right.
helps the listeners. Very good. Thank you so much for your time once again, Metatron.
Well, welcome. It is always our honor to be here.
Hmm.
We get as much joy out of this as you and our woman do.
Thank you.
Indeed. Until next time, beloved one.
Until next time,
Namaste.
namaste. Welcome back.
Hi.
Mhm. Hi. Mhm.
How did
Are
it
you
go?
good? Are you done channeling today?
I am
Do
done
you have,
channeling today.
yes,
Back at it again tomorrow.
yes, yes, yes.
But
It was good. It was really wonderful. And we got to connect with Gaia today.
oh,
So,
oh,
yeah,
was unexpected. That's cool.
it was unexpected. I had him connect with her for a message for humanity, and it was really beautiful.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow. It's really funny because living on the East Coast, everything goes dormant in the winter. There's no leaves on the trees, but the
It's like Misery, like the movie Misery, right?
last couple of days, even though it's still been chilly, it's like I can feel things starting to wake up.
Mm.
I'm like, ooh, okay, this is cool. I think we're gonna have a bit of an early spring here this year. So it's like,
Ah,
fingers
yeah,
crossed. I'll take a little sunshine.
sure, sure, of course.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, thank you so much
you're
once
welcome.
again, Wendy. And if anyone is having the feeling to connect with Metatron privately, please do not hesitate to contact Wendy. She is amazing. They both are.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and thank you all for your questions. Metatron saying thank you for your questions. They're brilliant. So
Yes, yes. Keep the questions coming.
Yeah.
All right. I already have some for next time. So they're
Awesome.
they're good. All right. Thank you, Wendy.
You're so welcome, Myra. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.